Good morning, everyone. Today I figured I'd do a quick little vlog for you guys. I've been producing a ton of Science Explained content. Vlogs are a little easier for me to do, and I also like to show you guys some of my own fitness journey and kind of what I'm up to. And as you can see, Stephanie and I have decorated the place for Christmas. There's some garland up there. This is our tree over here. We still gonna put some more bulbs on that?
Yeah, the backside is completely empty. Nobody knows that. No one knows.
Well, that's not
secret.
That's not too bad. And then these are our stockings right here. J and S, my favorite ornament. PhD graduate Stephanie Buttermore. And then everything else is kind of just generic. I feel like we need to step up our ornament game a little bit. Probably gonna put this up over here. When I'm like doing work in the house, I feel like I just need to move around, and like I do a lot of work on the computer, so I feel like just having like a hoop set up here somewhere.
That ball's gonna be thrown at me.
I'm gonna give you guys a quick update. Just gonna lay the camera down here. This morning I woke up 173.2 pounds, I think, and you guys will see I finally hit that upper cap of body fat percentage that I was aiming for, so that's 20.0%, and this morning was actually the first time that I've hit that to date. What this means for me now is that this is as fat as I want to get. Granted, I think that this scale does over-report body fat percentage a little bit, so I think this is probably more like a true 15, 16, something like that. But regardless, this is what I've been using the whole time, so that's what I'm using kind of as my gauge. So from this point, what I'm gonna be doing is running a MINICUT. So I'm actually not gonna start that until January, just because I don't wanna be in a deficit over Christmas and that sort of thing. So what I'm gonna do is sort of tighten up my bulk a little bit at this point. I'm gonna get back to tracking. I did track a couple days ago. I don't track every day, but just to give me some rough ballpark of where I am. And I'm gonna do that a little bit more diligently now moving forward, that I've sort of hit that 20% cap, just to make sure I'm not pushing my body fat percentage higher than I want it to go. So I'm gonna try to get my body weight up to 175 pounds, and I think I can get there. That's just another 2 pounds without really like overshooting my body fat percentage too much. Then once I get to 175, hopefully that'll be really early January, and then at that point I'll begin my MINICUT. So I'm gonna cut, I think, only for 4, maybe 6 weeks, and my goal will be to be down 6 to 8 pounds. So I'm probably gonna lose about 1.5 pounds per week. That'll be a little bit more of an aggressive MINICUT. And the reason why I'm doing that is basically threefold. First is to improve my body composition a little bit. Basically, I don't feel comfortable going over 20% body fat. I feel like that'll basically lead to too soft of an appearance. And with the bare mode bulk, finding that sweet spot I think is really important, because if you push it too far, you're gonna end up looking too soft, and I think that you'll just lose that sort of definition. And what this can do, especially if you're shirtless and you're posing, is actually just make you look a little bit smaller. Because where you normally have a little bit more roundness to your muscle and a little bit more of a pronounced cut, say in your shoulder, in your arms, in your chest, or what have you, if that sort of flattens out a little bit with too much body fat, you can actually look smaller with your clothes off or with your shirt off. Walking around, you probably will look bigger because you tend to fill it out more, but I think that there's a sweet spot there. And for me, I think that sort of caps out around 20%. So in my case, I wanna keep making progress the best that I can, but yet still be at a comfortable body composition. And I think that doing periodic MINICUTs is the best way to do that. Then that way, once I get back to a slightly leaner body comp, I can put myself in a surplus again, and then continue making that sort of expedited strength and size progress in the gym as a result of being in a caloric surplus, which I do think, while not required for making progress, it definitely makes progress faster. The second thing is that it's gonna improve my appetite. So at this point now, I'm definitely above my body fat set point, so where my body likes for me to be. And so I'm finding that I'm just really not hungry at all. But I do think that if I do a cut for like 4 to 6 weeks, I'll get my appetite back, and then I'll be able to eat in a surplus more comfortably again. And thirdly, it'll allow me to basically assess my progress better. So like I said, when you get a little bit softer, a little bit bigger, it's kind of hard to tell visually where the muscle is sort of being added and what sort of progress you're making. So for me, it's a little bit motivating just to be a little bit leaner, and then you can sort of see the progress happening a little bit more clearly, if that makes sense. So those are the main 3 reasons why I'm MINICUTting. But if you want to hear more technical stuff about how it is I run a MINICUT, I actually did a video like 2 or 3 years ago, so I'll link that in the description if you'd like to check it out. So another thing that I recently started doing is morning fasted cardio. And I don't think there's anything special about doing it fasted, but I do find that it sort of wakes me up for the day, it helps energize me, and it also picks up my appetite a little bit. So I find my appetite is actually the worst in the morning, and then it picks up throughout the day. But when I do fasted cardio, after that, I find I start to feel a little bit hungry. So that's been a great thing. So Stephanie and I have both been doing that. It's also, I think, improving my cardiovascular endurance. So let's just say I'm doing like high rep walking lunges. I'm really out of breath by like say the second set, which isn't great, and that's not good for being able to perform as much volume as I think I need to make progress. So the simple fix here is just to improve your work capacity by improving your cardiovascular conditioning. And it's also allowing me to sort of create time to do a bit of reading. So for example, this morning, I read another piece in the latest issue of Mass, and this one was actually on a really interesting topic, and I think it was the first study of this kind. I'll just quickly tell you guys about it. Basically, it compared auto-regulated exercise selection to fixed exercise selection. So most training programs that you see will use a fixed exercise selection. So that basically means you have like your 6 or 8 exercises that you're gonna perform every day, and they're sort of set in stone. Whereas an auto-regulated exercise selection strategy gives you, say, I don't know, 2 or 3 different exercises that you can pick per body part, and then based on how you're feeling that day, you pick one of them. And this isn't all that popular in programming in my experience, but it is something that I've used myself. What I'll do is I'll have a couple exercises that'll be like my main movements. So let's say like a squat and a dumbbell Romanian deadlift. And then the other exercises I'll fill in based on, you know, what machines are available or what I feel like performing that day. And it gives me that variety, which I think is important for me. A lot of this does really seem to depend on personality type. Some people like to have something set in stone that's rigid and solid, and it allows them to really hone in on tracking their progression, whereas other people like to have a little bit more flexibility with their training. Interestingly, what this study showed was that the auto-regulated exercise selection allowed for improved strength in the squat, improved strength in the bench press, and also increased muscle mass overall. However, the way that the study was set up was that for the fixed group, it was a full body program, and there were, I think, 6 or so exercises that they'd perform each day, and they trained 3 days a week. So they'd do, say, on day 1, the squat, and then the bench press, and then some other exercises like a barbell row or whatever. And then on day 2, I think they'd do the leg press for their lower body, and then other fixed exercises. And then on day 3, they do the leg extension, and then a bunch of other exercises. Whereas the auto-regulated exercise selection group could pick one of the 3. So they could either do the squat or the leg press or the leg extension. What happened was that group just so happened to end up picking the squat and the bench press more frequently. So it would make sense that if they were doing those exercises more frequently, then they would see better results with the squat and the bench press. And then also, since, you know, the squat is gonna activate a lot more muscle mass than, say, a leg extension would, it would make sense that the group doing the squats more frequently would see an increase in muscle mass as well. Practically speaking, what we can take away from this study, you know, it seems to be the case that if people have a little bit more of a sense of agency or a sense of autonomy with their programming, they may perform better, or they tend to perform better. So I think that the way I set it up is a pretty smart way to do it, because you get that fixed component where there are certain exercises where you can sort of have your steady progression on, and then there are others where you can have that degree of flexibility to pick and choose according to how you're feeling that day. So I think that a blend of both can work well for most people. For coaches, it would be nice to have, like, you know, an A or B option. So like, let's say you're doing a leg day and you have the squat and Romanian deadlift set in stone. For hamstrings, you could have, you know, glute ham raise or lying leg curl. And based on how you're feeling that day, you could pick one or the other. On a day where you're feeling a little more winded, a little more taxed, it might be better to sort of lie down and do an exercise that's a little less globally fatiguing. On days that you feel really good and you just want to kill it, you could go in and do the glute ham raise. So this is a really interesting study, and yeah, I'm basically liking doing that morning cardio because it allows me to sort of catch up on that, because I've become so focused on producing content for the channel that I don't want my own education to sort of fall by the wayside. Okay, so that's that. Right now, I'm gonna get some breakfast, and then Rashawn is dropping over a little bit later. He's gonna show me his new fancy camera. So I will check in with you guys in a little bit.
What's up?
It's been a while since they've seen you.
I know, it has, right? Since Miami.
How you been?
Good, man.
Yeah?
Cold day.
Heard you got a new camera.
A7R3.
Damn, hold on.
Paired with the lens we just got.
Jeez,
not
that thing
too
is
long
massive.
ago. I know. It's pretty good though.
Yeah, that's crazy.
You look legit when you have that.
Yeah,
I know, right?
That's pro shit right
Actually,
there.
it looked like a professional.
This is what I used to film the little clips when we did cardio this morning. This
That's
little
my
thing.
camera.
That's steps.
I'm very, very high
This
tech.
is Rashawn's. I'm just gonna show in the mirror. So this is the one I'm vlogging on. So this is the Sony Alpha 6500. So maybe you can see. Anyway, you can kind of tell the difference. It's pretty crazy. I was gonna show you, bro. Check this out.
Oh, what? It's like a real loop, man. There's this person for this too, because you have so much space.
Yeah, I know. That's what I was thinking.
Somewhere.
Alright, I think we're secure there. What do you rate that dunk out of 10?
I'm gonna have to run it back, but I'm thinking 7.5.
That's rough,
You
man.
can see a replay.
Yeah, you do. Let's see what you got. You have a 7.5 in you. Oh!
Call it a tie.
Okay, I'll take that.
That's fair. That's fair.
We have a bunch of kids wrecking the house. Gonna be yelling at you with a broom.
It's hard to.
That's why
So kiwis this time of year are not the best. I haven't been able to find Zespri kiwis at all. I don't know if they stopped, they like shut down or what. But in any case, all the kiwis are coming from Italy or the USA or Chile, and those are not my favorite imports of kiwis. So relying on this kiwi juice for the most part. So instead of having a kiwi a day, like a half of one of those. The nutrient profile on these it's pretty good, but this isn't like pure kiwi juice, so it's a little watered down.
What did they do?
I'm a huge fan of Up. Not sponsored or anything, but I really love the energy drink, so I'm curious to see what Christian is doing with it. I love the white flavor, so they don't ship to Canada, so when we go back to the States, we need to get an order placed.
it's been sold out.
Yeah,
We tried last time. Yeah, we'll order it.
So guys, right now, Stephanie, Rashawn, and I are gonna head over to my mom's place. She's got some chili cooking, I think, or maybe it was soup, I forget. Either way, we're gonna go grab a quick meal over there, 6:30, and then we're gonna go for a late workout at Good Life. We're gonna do a chest and shoulder workout, and Rashawn's gonna do an edit for that. So I'll check in with you guys at my mom's. This wreath is bigger than my mom. Hey.
Hello.
We got a special guest, Rashawn.
Yeah, I know, right?
And my subscribers. And then that's carrot cake.
And we got bread on the table. So, because this was kind of an impromptu, right? So I got.
Oh, those iced tea.
Yeah, do you want one of those?
Yeah, please.
Do you want one?
I'll take one too, yeah.
And I don't want any of the squash soup, so this is kind of just between
Oh,
the
nice.
three of you.
I'm excited to try it.
Yeah, good.
I've never tried your squash soup before, I don't think.
Oh, so let's see if you like it.
Yeah. So this is the appetizer. Butternut squash soup, which is my favorite type of soup. And it's some multigrain rolls.
That's good. That's yummy.
So the main course, we've got some turkey chili with what looks like some pinto beans, some
Chicken chili.
Chickpeas.
Those are chickpeas.
Chickpeas.
Here is the dessert. It's carrot cake, homemade.
It's delicious.
This is Stephanie's favorite
My
food.
favorite.
So we're gonna finish eating this, and then I'm gonna have this high volume raspberry lemonade pre-workout. It's funny because I feel like I've said this like too much on the channel, but I gave this one to my mom, and this is the second time now. So my friend in Newfoundland, when I gave it to him, he was like, Jeff, I took this pre-workout from you, but I feel like it's not working. Like I don't get any energy off of this. And then my mom just said the same thing. I know. And so the thing you gotta remember is this is a pump product, even though it may also increase your strength. Citrulline has been shown to do that. But this is mostly a pump product. So if you wanna increase your vascularity, use this one. So this is the product that I use late at night when I don't wanna have caffeine. Prolific is the product you wanna use for like morning and afternoon workouts because it does have caffeine in it. It does have like more of a focus element. So that's the other pre-workout, and there's a difference between those two. And then the one that Rashawn loves is Alphamine. Rashawn with a quick plug.
Pure caffeine.
It's powdered caffeine.
Yeah. So Alphamine is basically like their energy drink product. I don't usually use that one because I'll have coffee, and then I'll just have Prolific, which has caffeine in it for my pre-workout. Yeah, this is what we're gonna have for this workout. And for the workout, Rashawn is gonna do
An edit.
the best edit we've had on this channel yet, right?
No pressure.
Yeah.
No pressure. It's always pressure every time.
All right, so we're gonna get into that right now. that's gonna conclude the video. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like the video. Also, if you missed any of my latest Science Explained videos, I've released, I think, 3 in the last 2 weeks. So make sure you check them out. I'll put 2 of them over right here. So you can watch those, my hamstring and my quad one. And don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. And I'll see you guys in the next one.